everybody, I'm Allison from Sweet November Stamps, and welcome to the Joyful Gatherings YouTube Hop. And today we're going to be featuring all kinds of our new release, including the Wee Tree Trimmers, which features our cute little elves and their Christmas tree. And that's the stamp set that I'm going to be featuring today. I have already prepped my card, ready to go. And we're going to apply the background first. But to set the scene, what I did is I first stamped my two elves on the left and my elf on the right. And I applied my paper mask. And then I stamped the tree. And this allows for a look of dimension because things are overlapped. So my elves will sit in the front and my tree will sit in the back. So I wanted a nice cheerful card, so I figured I would use yellow as our background. So I'm applying this right over top of all those masks, and it's also actually sitting in the die still. So I want that white edge around my die cut, so that's why I've left my die in place as well when I'm blending. We're going to blend some wild honey, which is a little bit more orangey, just around the tree and the base of the tree, and then let's get to coloring. We have really sped this up, so a lot of the parts are sped up at least twice, if not 4 times the speed, so just be prepared. We're going to start by coloring the tree. I started with my darkest Copic, and that is a YG 67. And I'm adding this color basically wherever my shadow is. So I'm going underneath those branches, any of the baubles, underneath that popcorn garland, or at least that's kind of what it looks like. So I added in all of those. And then we're going to go to our secondary color here. Oh, and I found a spot that I forgot to mask, so I just colored it in with a Copic there. All right, we're going in with our secondary medium green tone, and we're just going over top of that dark green first and kind of pulling it down into the white space. And this not only helps blend, but you get a nice medium to dark tone on your tree there. And there we go. Super easy. And then we're going in with our final color, our latest, our YG07. So my tree is fairly nice and bright and nice and fun. All right, we're going to go in and do all of their outfits. So we're going to start with my pink combo, which is RV09, RV06, RV04. And I'm started with my dark again, going to the medium to blend it out, and then adding in my lighter pink. And I go over the entire thing. Next on to our BG combo, which is kind of like our teal, BG18, BG15, and our final BG13. And I've got the bottom of her pants there. And I'm going to go over to our other guy across there, and we're going to use the same BG combo for her hat and her vest. And again, dark, medium to light. And if you're not comfortable starting with your darks, then start with your lights and go to your darks and then reverse it back. That way you can blend it. So super simple coloring. I'm not using any more colors than 3. We're going to do a blue combo on this little fella's outfit, B05, B04, and B02. And like I said, I started with my dark, blending out with my medium, and then finally using that lightest color to go over the entire thing. Onto some red with an R37, R27, R17. And to make your card seem like everything is colored the same, try and stick with the same color combos. I mean, you can absolutely mix and match things and put purples and pinks and blues and every color under the rainbow. But if you use the same color combinations and you repeat them throughout your card will look more cohesive. That's just a tip. Again, red combo on his vest and hat on the other side here. And again, coloring very, very simply today. We're going back to the same pink combo that we used on our elf that's up on his shoulders. And we're starting to do all of the gifts underneath the tree now. Because the gifts are so small, you could stick with just 2 colors and that would be just fine. A lot of the details here are very, very small, so you don't need a lot of contrast. So I'm going in with a yellow combination. And we'll come back to that yellow again. There's our BG combination again. We're doing some of the gifts kind of behind the blue little elf there. Just coloring those out. Most of my gifts are only a 2 color use of Copics, and then some of them I use 3, but it's completely up to you. Onto a couple of red details. And again, I'm going back to the same combinations because I know everything's going to look cohesive. There we go. Finishing up that one. We're going to add a little bit of our BG combination to this little present. And I believe I only used 2 Copics on this one. Yep. And again, the details are so small that just using 2 is more than adequate. Back to the blue. And what I'm trying to do is not put the same color next to one another. And this just makes everything kind of pop out individually. So you can see the yellow present because there's no yellow around it. You can see the red present because there's no red around it. That kind of thing. On to the baubles. So I'm going to use the whole same colors for my Copics again. And I'm just making little C's with my darkest first and then blending out those C's to an O and then filling in the entire bauble to get kind of that reflective quality that your baubles would have on the tree. So we're going in with kind of that tealy color on a few of them. We're going to add a few of the yellowy orange colored baubles. I wish I could color this fast, let me tell you. We're going to do some red ones. Again, I'm bringing all those same colors back into the card. With the tree, it's so nice you can do that, right? Because you can put any color on a Christmas tree. There we go. We have a blue bauble. And then we're just going in to finish up all of the details on the packaging because I have left them till the very end as far as detail there. Some pinks, some blues, some yellows. Super duper simple. Presents are fun to decorate because you can go hog wild with your patterns. All right, let's make a shiny star. This is one of my kind of gold combinations for Copics. This is a Y28, Y28. Typically I would go with a Y26, but we're going a little bit brighter with a Y15 and a Y06. So I just kind of mapped out on that angles of the star what was going to be the darkest and what's going to be the lightest. And now you can see it has a little bit more dimension. Okay, onto our popcorn. So I started dark, so an E43, and I'm just kind of making them cupped looking, putting a few little details in what I'm calling popcorn, adding details into that space there with my E43. Then I'm just going to kind of blend that out and soften that edge. Because there's more blender solution in the lighter color of the E41, it does push that E43 down into the paper and softens it. And the end results kind of looks like popcorn. Okay, on to the facial details. I'm going to start with an E04 to add any of the shadows on the face, including some cheekies. We're going to blend that out with an E02. This is a very rosy kind of E color. So I thought it would be very fitting for a cute little elf. And then I'm going to blend out the whole entire thing with a very creamy, light colored E21. And I'm going over the entire skin, including the inside of the ears. All right, let's add some cheeks. So I put down some R22 first, and then I go over it with my lighter color, my E21. And this helps push and blend, and it kind of gets rid of those harsh lines of the cheeks. So you can see the cheeks kind of soften a little bit with that addition of that lighter Copic. Okay, let's give them some hair. And I went really, really simple with this, and they're all having the same hair. E27, E25, and E23 to finish. And again, because there's so very little hair, you could even go with a single color, but so super cute. Look at that. And one of the last little details is just to add a little bit of shadow to the cuffs on their hats and the pom-poms. So I'm just using a C2 for that. Very, very simple. And I will come back and blend that, but we're going to put a little bit of shadow underneath all of our elves, presents, and tree, starting with Y28, and then I'm going to blend out with that Y26. So I wanted it to very much mimic that orangey, goldy background, so that's what I stuck with instead of using a gray for a shadow. And there we go. We're going to do one final touch and blend out that shadow on their cuffs and their pom-poms. And there we go. We need one last thing. It needs a sentiment. So we're going to use a sentiment from the Wee Tree Trimmers stamp set. Sorry. And making it nice and simple. And we're going to put a little bit of details now with a white gel pen. Actually, it's a paint pen. A little bit of reflection, some cute little cheeky dots, and a little bit of details on some of the gifts as well. So we're just going to put some detail on some of the ribbons. We're going to add some polka dots to one of the presents. Don't forget underneath his legs there, because that present goes all the way through. We have some lines. And then I'm going to come in with my colored pencils and do a little bit of details on them as well. You can get a nice fine line with a colored pencil, so that's why I chose to do it with that versus going in with a Copic marker. So just making some fun little details of patterned gift wrap, and the final present gets some red polka dots. So, and this is always the fun part. I could have gone in and decorated their little vests and their outfits, and that's fun too, but I figured the presents, that would be the thing that I would decorate with a lot of small details. There we go. Almost done, guys. There we go, our final card. Thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and comment below for your chance to win the full clear stamp release. Bye guys, have a great day.